Ladies and gentlemen, when someone comes into your life, they should add to your story, not tear chapters from your book. But sometimes we find ourselves in the company of a man whose intentions are not pure. He may flatter you with his words, but his actions tell another story. He's there when it's convenient for him. He takes from you your time, your energy, your kindness, but gives little to nothing in return. Let me tell you something, you're not a stepping stone for someone else's journey. You're not a placeholder while he decides what he wants. Your life is not a rehearsal for someone to practice their selfishness. You are the main event. You are the prize. And the moment you realize that, the game changes. Love, real love, is never one-sided. It's not about what he can take from you, it's about what you can build together. If he doesn't invest in you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, he's not there for love. He's there for what he can gain. And you deserve better. Let's be clear, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. Boundaries say, I know my worth, and I refuse to be treated as anything less than what I am. They filter out those who don't belong in your life. They reveal who truly respects you and who is just there for convenience. And when you find yourself in a situation where someone's using you, walk away. I know it's not easy. It may feel like you're giving up, but you're not. You're taking back control. You're saying, I choose me. And there's nothing more powerful than a person who decides to choose themselves. Yes, walking away means letting go of what you thought could be, but it also means opening the door to what truly should be. It's not just about leaving him behind, it's about finding yourself in the process. It's about healing from the hurt, learning from the pain, and growing into the person you're meant to be. Remember this, the right man will see your worth without you having to prove it. He'll value you, uplift you, and cherish you. Don't settle for anything less. Because settling is saying you don't believe in what's better. And trust me, better is out there. Recognizing the signs of being used is one of the most important steps in protecting yourself and your worth. Often the signs are subtle at first, but they become clearer when you pay close attention to how someone treats you over time. For instance, you may notice that the man in question is always available when he needs something from you, but is mysteriously absent when you need his support. He might shower you with compliments or affection when he wants something, but becomes distant or dismissive afterward. You might feel like you're giving and giving, yet receiving little to nothing in return. Maybe he's quick to borrow your time, energy, or resources, but doesn't reciprocate in meaningful ways. He could make promises that sound good in the moment, but when it's time to follow through, excuses take their place. You may also observe that conversations revolve around his needs, his problems, his goals, leaving you feeling unseen and unheard. Another sign is inconsistency. His behavior might swing between attentive and neglectful, leaving you in a state of confusion about where you stand. This inconsistency often leads to emotional exhaustion because you're constantly questioning his intentions and trying to make sense of his actions. Pay attention to your own feelings. If you often feel drained, unappreciated, or taken for granted, these emotions are often indicators of being used. Trust your intuition. That inner voice that nudges you when something feels off is rarely wrong. If you feel like you're being manipulated or that there's an imbalance in the relationship, don't ignore those feelings. Recognizing the signs is not about placing blame, it's about becoming aware of patterns that don't serve you. This awareness allows you to take the necessary steps to protect your heart and your peace. Understanding your worth is one of the most empowering realizations you can have. Your value is not determined by how others treat you, nor is it measured by what you can give to someone else. It is intrinsic. It's in the strength of your character, the kindness of your heart, and the uniqueness of who you are. Yet too often people forget this and allow others to dictate their sense of self-worth. When you truly value yourself, you stop settling for crumbs when you deserve a feast. You begin to see that love is not about sacrifice to the point of losing yourself. Instead, it's about mutual respect, care, and effort. A man who values you will never make you question your importance in his life. He will show you through his consistency, his respect, and his actions. But valuing yourself doesn't just mean expecting better from others, it means expecting better from yourself too. It's about setting the standard for how you want to be treated and refusing to compromise on it. When you know your worth, you won't waste time trying to prove it to someone who doesn't see it. Instead, you'll choose to spend your energy on people and situations that honor and uplift you. It also means recognizing that your worth doesn't diminish because of someone else's inability to appreciate it. If a man doesn't treat you with respect, care, and love, it says more about his character than it does about yours. You are not responsible for changing someone's perspective of you. Your only responsibility is to honor yourself and ensure you're surrounded by people who do the same. Valuing your worth is about believing in your right to happiness, respect, and love. It's about not letting anyone exploit your kindness or mistake your patience for weakness. When you embrace your value, you naturally attract relationships that reflect it. And most importantly, you remind yourself that your happiness and peace are non-negotiable. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are bridges to healthy relationships and self-respect. They define what is acceptable and unacceptable in your life and are a reflection of how much you value yourself. When you set boundaries, you are not being selfish or difficult. You are simply ensuring that your peace, energy, and emotional well-being are protected. Too often, people shy away from setting boundaries because they fear rejection or conflict. They worry that saying no will make them seem unkind or unloving. But in reality, boundaries are a form of love for yourself and respect for others. Without boundaries, people can take advantage of your kindness, leaving you feeling drained, unappreciated, and even resentful. Boundaries communicate your needs and expectations clearly. They tell others how you want to be treated and what you will not tolerate. For example, if a man constantly demands your time but gives little in return, setting a boundary might mean saying, "I need relationships where effort is mutual." It's not about pushing people away, it's about inviting the right kind of behavior into your life. Enforcing boundaries can be challenging, especially when you care deeply about someone. But remember, the people who truly value you will respect your boundaries, even if they don't always agree with them. Those who disregard or dismiss your limits are showing you that they prioritize their needs over your well-being. That's a red flag that shouldn't be ignored. Boundaries also help you maintain your sense of self. They prevent you from losing yourself in someone else's desires or demands. When you have clear boundaries, you're less likely to compromise your values or overextend yourself to please others. Instead, you stand firm in your truth, knowing that your needs and feelings are just as important as anyone else's. Learning to set and maintain boundaries takes courage and practice, but it's one of the most empowering things you can do. It's not about being rigid or inflexible, it's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less than the respect and care you deserve. Healthy boundaries create space for mutual respect, love, and understanding, which are the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Actions have a way of revealing the truth that words often try to hide. It's easy for someone to say the right things, to promise the world or to tell you exactly what you want to hear. But words alone are not enough. If someone's actions don't align with their words, then their intentions may not be as genuine as they seem. When a man truly cares about you, it's not just in what he says, it's in what he does. He doesn't just talk about being there for you, he shows up. He doesn't just say he respects you, he treats you with respect in every interaction. He doesn't just promise to prioritize you, he actually makes you a priority. Actions provide the proof of his feelings and intentions, while words can sometimes be empty or misleading. Pay attention to consistency. A man who genuinely values you will show it through consistent behavior, not occasional grand gestures. It's not about how he acts when things are easy or convenient. It's about how he treats you when it requires effort, sacrifice, or commitment. Does he follow through on what he says? Does he make time for you even when he's busy? Does he stand by you when you're going through difficult times? These actions speak louder than any declaration of love or affection. Sometimes, people use words as a distraction, a way to keep you emotionally invested without giving you what you truly need. They might apologize repeatedly for the same mistakes but never change their behavior. They might promise to improve or do better but never take the steps to make it happen. Over time, these patterns reveal that their words are just that, words. Trusting actions over words doesn't mean you have to be skeptical or cynical. It simply means you observe and evaluate how someone behaves over time. If his actions consistently align with his words, then you have something real. But if there's a disconnect, don't ignore it. Your time and energy are too valuable to be wasted on someone who says one thing but does another. Ultimately, actions build trust, deepen connections, and show a person's true character. They demonstrate effort, commitment, and care in ways that words never can. So don't just listen to what a man says, watch what he does. Let his actions be the measure of his intentions and the foundation of your trust. Walking away is one of the most powerful decisions you can make when someone isn't treating you right. It's not about giving up or admitting defeat, it's about reclaiming your self-worth and prioritizing your peace. Walking away is a declaration that you refuse to settle for less than you deserve, and it's one of the strongest acts of self-love you can show yourself. Many people struggle with the idea of leaving because they hold on to hope that the person will change, that things will get better, or that the promises made will finally be fulfilled. But sometimes the greatest strength lies in accepting that the situation isn't serving you and that staying will only continue to drain your energy, happiness, and sense of self. Walking away doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you cared enough about yourself to stop allowing someone else's behavior to diminish your value. It's not easy. It requires courage to let go of what you thought could be, especially when emotions are involved. But holding on to something unhealthy only prolongs the pain and keeps you stuck in a cycle that prevents you from experiencing the love and respect you truly deserve. When you walk away, you're sending a clear message, not just to the other person, but to yourself. You're saying, I choose me. You're affirming that your well-being, happiness, and dignity matter more than trying to fix a relationship that's broken or one-sided. Walking away is an act of empowerment. It shows that you recognize your value and won't compromise it for anyone who doesn't see it. There's power in the silence that comes after you leave. It forces the other person to confront their actions and the reality of losing someone who is willing to give them love, care, and time. Whether they realize their mistake or not, that's no longer your concern. Your focus shifts to healing, growing, and rediscovering yourself outside of the relationship that held you back. Walking away also opens the door to new possibilities. It creates space for people and experiences that align with your worth and values. It allows you to break free from the chains of mediocrity and move towards something extraordinary. You'll find that the peace you gain from leaving behind what wasn't right for you far outweighs the pain of letting go. Remember, walking away isn't about weakness, it's about strength. It's about knowing when to stop investing in someone who isn't investing in you. It's about choosing to protect your heart and prioritize your future. And it's about trusting that something better is waiting for you on the other side of the decision to let go. Healing and self-reflection are essential parts of the process when you've experienced emotional pain, especially from someone who used or mistreated you. Healing isn't an overnight process. It takes time, patience, and a commitment to yourself. It starts with acknowledging the hurt, giving yourself permission to feel the pain, and then deciding to move forward. There's no shame in feeling lost, confused, or even broken after being hurt. These are natural emotions, but they don't define who you are or your future. Self-reflection plays a crucial role in this healing process. It allows you to step back and look at the situation from a place of clarity, not from a place of hurt or anger. It's about understanding what happened, recognizing the patterns, and gaining insight into why things turned out the way they did. Self-reflection isn't about blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It's about understanding the lessons that the experience can teach you. What did you learn about your own boundaries? What did you learn about your expectations in relationships? What patterns or behaviors do you want to avoid in the future? During this time, it's important to give yourself the space to rebuild, emotionally and mentally. Reflect on the ways in which you may have neglected your own needs in the relationship, and commit to changing that moving forward. Healing requires acknowledging that the love and care you gave yourself might have been compromised in the relationship, but it also offers an opportunity to reclaim that love. You get to decide how you treat yourself from now on. It's a process of rediscovering your own strength, beauty, and resilience. As you heal, allow yourself to grieve, but also allow yourself to grow. Healing means gradually releasing the past, forgiving yourself for any perceived mistakes, and learning to trust again both in others and, most importantly, in yourself. Self-reflection gives you the clarity to recognize your value and to stop seeking validation from others who might not treat you right. You come to understand that your happiness isn't dependent on someone else's actions or approval, but on your ability to love and respect yourself. One of the most powerful aspects of this healing journey is recognizing that you are whole and complete even after a painful experience. You are not defined by someone else's treatment of you. You have the ability to rise above, to heal, and to move forward with even more wisdom and strength than before. The key is to be patient with yourself, to honor the healing process, and to embrace the growth that comes from self-reflection. Over time, you'll look back and realize that this experience, while painful, has made you more resilient, more self-aware, and more capable of creating the life and relationships you truly deserve. Choosing love wisely is about recognizing that not all love is the same, and not every relationship is worth investing in. Too often we get caught up in the idea of love of what we hope it will be rather than what it actually is. Love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, and it's a decision you make every day about who you allow into your life and heart. When you choose love wisely, you stop settling for someone who gives you only half of what you need, who uses your kindness for their gain, or who takes without truly giving. You understand that love is about mutual respect, trust, effort, and consistency. It's about two people who bring out the best in each other, who support one another's growth, and who are willing to put in the work to make the relationship thrive. Choosing love wisely also means understanding that you should never have to prove your worth to someone who truly loves you. They will recognize your value without you having to convince them of it. They will love you for who you are, not for what you can give them or what they can get from you. The right person will see your worth and will treat you accordingly, not just when things are easy, but especially when times are tough. This doesn't mean that love will always be perfect, but it does mean that love should never leave you feeling drained, confused, or undervalued. It shouldn't make you doubt your worth or force you to compromise who you are for the sake of someone else. True love will uplift you, empower you, and make you feel like you matter. It will make you want to be a better person, not because you feel pressured, but because the love is genuine and inspiring. Choosing love wisely also means knowing when to walk away. It's about having the courage to say goodbye to relationships that don't serve your well-being, that leave you emotionally exhausted, or that hinder your growth. You recognize that walking away from something that isn't right for you isn't a failure, it's an act of self-respect. By choosing to love wisely, you open the door for the kind of love that will make you feel safe, cherished, and supported. You don't have to settle for anything less than the love that honors your heart, your dreams, and your peace of mind. When you choose love wisely, you create a foundation for a healthy, fulfilling relationship that brings out the best in you. So be patient, be selective. And remember that you are worthy of a love that lifts you up rather than one that weighs you down. Don't rush into love, choose it wisely, and it will be everything you've been waiting for. In the end, love should never diminish your sense of self or leave you questioning your worth. When you recognize the signs of being used, value yourself enough to set boundaries, and understand that actions speak louder than words, you give yourself the power to protect your heart. Walking away when necessary is not a weakness, but a statement of strength and self-respect. Take the time to heal, reflect, and learn from your experiences. Choose love wisely, understand that the right love will never cause you pain or leave you empty. It will build you up, empower you, and remind you of your worth every single day. Never settle for less than you deserve. You are deserving of love that respects you, uplifts you, and brings out the very best in you. Choose wisely, love deeply, and most importantly, love yourself enough to never accept anything less than what you are worthy of. Your happiness begins with you.